Have you ever felt used? Not by a stranger, but by someone you genuinely liked? Someone who smiled at you at every party, remembered your birthday, introduced themselves as your close friend to people you'd never met. And then, slowly, you started to notice something felt off? Today we're going to talk about the psychology of a social climber, what's really going on inside their mind, why it works on us, and honestly, what you can do about it. Because understanding this isn't just interesting, it's one of the most quietly powerful things you can do for yourself. Because here's the thing nobody warns you about. Social climbers are rarely obvious. They don't show up with a neon sign. They show up as the charming new friend who happens to know everyone, the colleague who always volunteers to introduce you to the right people, the acquaintance who somehow ends up in every photo next to the most influential person in the room. And by the time you feel that strange, hollow feeling like you were a stepping stone, not a friend, it's already been happening for months. If you've ever walked away from a relationship and thought, wait, did they actually care about me? Or did they care about what I could give them? This video is for you. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly which signs to watch for, and more importantly, how to respond with clarity instead of confusion. Coming up next, the specific behaviors social climbers use and why they work so well even on smart, self-aware people like you. Let's get into it. Social climbers aren't random. There's a recognizable playbook. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. 1. They pursue people, not relationships. A social climber doesn't fall into friendships naturally. They scan the room first. They identify who has status, influence, connections, or visibility, and then they engineer closeness with that person. It feels like chemistry. It's actually calculation. 2. They name drop you without asking. You find out from someone else that they've described you as their good friend, their mentor, their business contact to people you've never met. They're borrowing your reputation to build their own, quietly, in rooms you're not in. 3. They mirror your energy perfectly, at first. Social climbers are often remarkably likable early on. They're warm, they're interested, they ask great questions. This isn't an accident, it's a strategy. Mirroring is one of the most effective rapport-building tools in human psychology. It makes you feel seen. It makes you trust them faster than you normally would. 4. The relationship is transactional, but the transaction is disguised. Think back. Did they always seem to reach out right before something happened? A launch, an event, a moment where your network or name would be useful, and then go quiet afterward? That rhythm is a signal. 5. They subtly distance themselves when your status drops. If you go through a hard season, a job loss, a breakup, a public failure, the social climber becomes hard to reach. This is the cruelest tell. Because a real friend leans in when things get hard. A social climber moves on to a better opportunity. 6. They make you feel special in public and forgettable in private. In a group setting, they light you up. One-on-one, things feel strangely thin. That inconsistency matters. It's not your imagination. So why do we let it happen? Why do smart, grounded people still get pulled in? Here's what's fascinating. And this is where it gets psychological. The flattery a social climber offers is genuinely pleasurable to the human brain. Feeling admired, recognized, valued. Those experiences activate the same reward centers as food or money. We're not weak for enjoying it. We're human. They know that, and they use it. But before we get to how to protect yourself, we need to go one layer deeper, because understanding the mechanism is what actually gives you the power. That's exactly where we're headed next. Okay, before we get to the practical strategies, and we will, I want to take a moment to understand what's actually happening inside the social climber's psychology, because I think this part matters. It changes how you see the situation, and honestly, it makes the whole thing a little less personal. Social climbing is, at its core, a behavior rooted in deep insecurity, not power. Psychologists who study social dominance and status seeking have found that people who aggressively pursue social ascent through others often have what researchers describe as a fragile sense of self-worth. Their identity is externally constructed. Without the right people around them, they feel empty. So they keep collecting. They keep climbing. Not because they're villains, but because they don't know how to feel okay without external validation constantly reinforcing their value. There's also something called instrumental relational orientation, a term from relationship psychology that describes treating other people primarily as means to an end rather than ends in themselves. Most of us do this occasionally without thinking. Social climbers do it as a default mode. And here's the part that used to confuse me personally. I used to wonder, do they know they're doing it? The honest answer is sometimes yes, sometimes no. Some social climbers are fully conscious strategists. Others have simply normalized the behavior so completely that it doesn't feel like manipulation anymore. It just feels like being good at networking. That distinction doesn't change the impact on you, but it does change how you respond. You're not dealing with a predator. You're often dealing with someone who learned early on that connection was currency and never unlearned it. And now, the part you came here for. What do you actually do? How do you protect yourself without becoming cynical, without closing off, without losing your own warmth in the process? That's next. How to respond. Reclaim your clarity and your power. This is the part that changes things. Because once you understand the psychology, you're not reacting anymore, you're responding. And there's a world of difference between those two. Here's what actually works. 1. Test for reciprocity, quietly. The simplest and most revealing thing you can do is notice whether the relationship moves in both directions. Ask for something small, a favor, a connection, a bit of their time when you need it. A genuine friend says yes when they can, or explains when they can't. A social climber goes quiet, finds a reason it's complicated, or suddenly gets very busy. You don't need to make a big confrontation out of this. Just notice. The pattern will show itself. 2. Slow down the access. Social climbers thrive on momentum, quick warmth, fast access, early intimacy. If you deliberately slow the pace of closeness, take longer to introduce them to your broader circle, be a little more measured in what you share, you'll often see the interest cool without you having to do anything dramatic. People who wanted you for you will stay. People who wanted what you represent will drift. 3. Name the feeling without catastrophizing. If something feels off, you don't have to immediately label someone a manipulator. You can simply say, internally or to a trusted person, I'm feeling like this relationship might not be as mutual as I thought. That's enough to start paying attention differently. 4. Protect your inner circle deliberately. Not everyone earns proximity to your closest relationships, your private goals, your most vulnerable moments. That's not being cold, that's being discerning. Warmth and wisdom can coexist. 5. Don't let one experience make you cynical, let it make you clearer. The goal isn't to stop trusting people. The goal is to trust more slowly and more intentionally. You're not building walls, you're building filters. And the people who are genuinely worth your time, they'll pass through just fine. We're almost at the end, and I want to leave you with something that actually stays with you. Here's what I keep coming back to. You don't have to become harder to protect yourself. You just have to become more awake, more present to the patterns, more trusting of your own gut, more willing to let a relationship prove itself over time before you give it everything. If something in this video reflected something you've lived, share it. Send it to a friend who might need it. Not because it's a perfect explanation of everything, but because sometimes just naming the thing is enough to make someone feel a little less alone in it. And if you want to keep exploring this kind of inner work, the kind that actually makes life feel lighter and people feel easier to read, I'd love for you to stick around. There's a lot more here for you.